Sinendan na po namin siya ng link.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please as we are about to begin.
Okay, good afternoon. So please be guided accordingly. Please be mindful of the guidelines. E-certificate will be issued to those who will complete answering the evaluation form. Observe silence by muting your microphone to avoid unnecessary noise. Always keep your camera on. Take down notes. During the discussion is highly recommended. All opinions treated with mutual respect. And finally, asking questions is highly advised. Just comment down in the chat box and we will be getting to those questions later in our Q&A portion. So for we would like to greet everyone a pleasant afternoon.
We will make this afternoon not just wonderful, but also a day full of learning and new experiences.
We have anticipated long enough for this day to come, but anticipation comes with the painstaking effort and wishful thoughts that now comes into reality. So, what are we waiting for? Pains, the long wait is now over. On behalf of UAPS at TSU, we would like to extend our warmest appreciation and gratitude for your effort to make this event a success. To our honorable guests, we welcome you to the UAPS's 12th Architecture Lecture Series entitled Sustainability Through Our Experience, Amplifying Clear Career Path Towards Architecture.
And don't forget to follow UAPS at TSU page to keep yourself updated on the Facebook page at www.facebook.com/UAPS at TSU and in Instagram and Twitter accounts at UAPS at TSU.
For today's lecture series, I, Aaron Nigel Sangalang, will be one of your hosts for this afternoon.
So how is everyone right now? I hope you guys are all doing fine. Stay safe and stay at home. So before anything else, I would like to introduce myself to everyone. I am Rainier Medrano, 5th year representative of UAPSA TSU chapter, and also your host for the 12th Architecture Lecture Series. And we appreciate you taking time of your busy schedules to join us today. We hope you will find the program we have lined up for you to be fruitful and engaging.
Moving to our invocation, to formally get the program, an invocation by audio-visual presentation, and to be followed by the singing of the national anthem.
Bayang magiliw, pero sa silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupi, di ka pasisigil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy, sa langit mong mukha, may tinatang tula at awit sa paglalang minamahal. Ang islap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagdidingding, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng buwan, hatid pagsinta.
And now, to kick off this afternoon's program, we are pleased to have Architect Arlene Gibb, Chairman of Architecture Department in the College of Architecture and Fine Arts, to give the opening remarks. Let's give her a warm welcome.
Hi guys, seems like Ma'am Geb is not yet around. So in behalf of our department head, I am Architect Gro Harlem. Okay, so we thank you for having this time, Lord, and we thank you for WAPSA, PSU, na may mga that you conduct this kind of lecture series, and we appreciate your efforts in looking for good resource speaker. Now, so for today we have a good resource speaker, and we appreciate our officers. We thank you for your efforts, and despite this situation, our organization is still this active. So a round of applause for you officers, led by our president, Crystal Kibuyan, and our host. Thank you for today. And good afternoon, everyone. Those in live, we have 31 viewers in our Facebook Live. So welcome to WAPSA PSU 12 Architecture Lecture Series. And now open the program.
Okay, thank you, Architect Jeco, for the wonderful remarks. And as we move to the introduction of the speaker.
And now, may I briefly introduce to you our guest speaker. He is a graduate of BS Architecture at Ho Chi Minh City University of Architecture in Vietnam, year 2014. Took a Master of Science in Integrated Sustainable Design with grade point average of 4.45 in National University of Singapore, year 2017-2018. He is the Architectural Associate at Surbana Jurong, Singapore since 2018 up to present. He is the founder, mentor of Ecotech and Sustainable Strategies, year 2015 up to present. Graphic coordinator, Ecopuncture, an architectural book by Dr. Nirman Kishnani, year 2018 to 2019. Junior architect, Archetype Group, Vietnam, year 2017. Year 2015, he was an intern at NQH Design Group, wherein he worked primarily in the design development phase of several residential projects. In the year 2013, he is an intern at Votre Nha Architects, Vietnam. Study abroad and studio practice in 2 semesters at the University of Leuven in the year 2015. Year 2016, he won First Prize Blue Award winner among 200 projects nominated by Kazuyo Sejima, Chair, 2010 Pritzker Prize laureate. 2015 Second Prize winner in the CTBUH Conference among 210 projects nominated by Moshe Safdie, Chair, 2015 AIA Gold Medal. 2014 Second Prize winner in the House for Change competition among 148 projects. Chair, MIT Pritzker Prize Jury. 2012 Second Prize winner in the Great Building Design and Construction Challenge awarded by Lord Putnam of Queensgate, United Kingdom. Let us hear from him, his experience and views on the topic. Let us welcome on screen Architect Trinh Phuong Quan.
Hello, everyone. It's my honor, and I'm very happy to be here. And I got your invitation to join your lecture series today. Actually, I've been knowing Jepco for 10 years. We know each other in a competition, which called the Archiprix C, held in the National University of Singapore. We know each other from that competition, and in that time, it's a very good opportunities for us to know each other, and then we can keep in touch and to join in your program today. So it's my pleasure to be here to share with you some of my experience over the past few years, which I have gone through. Today, I will not to talk about what is a sustainable architecture or introduce you about the sustainability. No, I will share you my experience, which I know via competition to path your career path in the future for any student who are still wondering in themselves what they should do after graduation, how to improve the portfolio, and how to path a career path overseas. So thank you. Yeah. May I start my presentation now, or do you want to talk something, Jepko?
Yes, please. You may start with your talk.
Okay. So let's get started with the screen sharing. Okay, I share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my topic today is sustainability through experience to amplifying your career path toward competition and architecture. Let me talk to share you a bit information as you mentioned before. Basically, I'm now working at an architectural associate at Surbana Jurong, one of the largest architecture and infrastructure development firm in Singapore, maybe in Southeast Asia. I graduated with a background in sustainable design at NUS and bachelor architecture in Ho Chi Minh. During my student time, I won several awards in architecture design competition, and it passed me a lot of opportunity. So today I will share you a bit about my story. So this is my school, the Ho Chi Minh City University Architecture in Ho Chi Minh City. And this is me like 10 years ago, look quite, naive, innocent. I don't know about architecture at all. I just want to study architecture because I think, okay, I am good at drawing, so I do something with architecture. That's my very initial thinking about architecture. This is what was students learn and do at my school. So you see, in the first and second year, we started with the hand drawing based studio, and we started with some of the other activity like presentation, making model for discussion. This is our first and second year studio project. So in this time, you need to be very good at painting to do the visualization, hand rendering. And you start with some basic design about like villa, cafe shop, bookshop, yeah, for first and second year student. So in that time, I don't have any idea about what is sustainable architecture. No, I don't know anything about that. So this is my friend's studio and my studio project. You can see the difference, huge difference. Actually, I'm not good at painting compared to my friend. And in that time, I feel a bit, unambiguous. I'm worried about my future career. I don't know, because I feel very reluctant when I do a studio project. I don't know what should I do for my future career. I don't know at all. And when I see the grading, compare between me and my friend, I feel very disappointed. Sometimes I lost a sense. I don't know what I should do to my future career. Sometimes I feel, well, maybe I choose the wrong job already. And I just always wonder about that. This is my studio project, the kindergarten. So in that time, I spent one night and I think about what is my advantage? What should I do to improve myself, to stand out of 100 talented students in my batch? And dream about working overseas, traveling overseas. In that time, I'm not affordable to do that thing. So I think about that, and I think about the other's weak point. What is their weakness? for me to improve myself, to stand out, yeah, from all the classmates. So I'm thinking there will be three things that I can do in that time. The first thing, be improving English, because our teaching medium is Vietnamese, not English at school. So I think if I am capable of conversion in English very good, so I can have advantage compared to my friends. I'm thinking about, okay, I'm not good at painting. I don't have the aptitude in painting. So I start learning about BIM, SketchUp, about the CADing by myself to improve as much as possible. And the third thing, because I'm not good at the school project, so I think about, well, what should I do with competition? Maybe it's a good chance for me to win a competition, a design competition, and having chance to travel overseas. Yeah. So the three things I write down like this. Yeah, English I should be better than the other peer. Yeah, and a good command English in Vietnam will be my best advantage. Help me to stand out from my friend who are, they are quite lazy to learn English. For the skill set, I think the BIM, the Revit, the visualization skill would be my best advantage. Why I would study and working overseas, because English is not my advantage working overseas anymore. So I have to equip me with this skill set. And finally, the competition, because we all of us are starting from a developing country, so maybe our degree, our degree is not recognized in developed country. So what I can to stand out, to improve myself, to stand out and to make them impressive with my profile, So competition, I think about competition. Yeah, nothing can help me to stand out like with hundreds of good architecture students graduated from Europe, USA, Ivy League, without competition and award. That's the only thing that I can mind that gap in that moment. So the first thing, I'll share you a bit about my experience, how to win an architectural competition. You see, I won a lot of competition during my study in Vietnam and in US. So I share with you some of my experience and my trick that helped me to win, to increase the chance of winning in design competition. Let me start it. So this is a country I've been to and travel, for free by winning competition. Yeah, I travel more than 10 countries without paying anything. All are sponsored by design competition and by the competition organizer. So that's the first thing, yeah, I can do. It's very difficult for me to obtain a visa to Europe or USA if I were a tourist or if I were a student. It is impossible, yeah. But by competition, by the invitation from them, I can obtain that. So I make it become a reality. And the competition, you have a lot of chance to meet like star architect. Yeah, they can be your jury. You see, I'm talking with the Moses Safdie, he's my jury during competition. The head of the jury, we discuss together and give me some advices. So yeah, and then we talk with Bjarke Engel in the competition. I met Daniel Libeski, Adrian Smith. Yeah, so this is a chance of my life, even for any architecture student. Yeah, to make a star architect like that. Yeah, it's the only chance for you to win a competition. Yeah, so I made it. So I started with the competition. Where to find a appropriate competition? There's so many websites. You can search on the internet about competition. Yeah, and Bustler is one of the most trusted source. Yeah, here you can find a lot of competition. Hundreds of competition held per year, and sometimes it's a real design competition from the town council, or just a student competition, or just a design idea like interior design idea, furniture making, furniture design. So this is a very good source for you to start with competition. Yeah. Art Daily. Yeah. Art Daily, they have a category that you can find the competition appropriate. You can search by the type, by year, by months, the submission, the deadline submission. You can file, yeah. Even you can reuse your studio project to submit in this competition. Yeah, just fine, just take a look and fine. So this is the most trusted source for you to file appropriate competition. So here you can find, I have a summarize of the source. You have the Bustler, Art Daily, and Design Boom can be a good source. Some international competition that our student can participate, like the La France Honsim Award, the CTB Student Design Competition, the Plu Award, Archiprix International. Yeah. For the Asian and Southeast Asia, one of the most prominent and well-known competition in the field of sustainable design is the Future Arc Student Design Award, held every year. So you can, you earn 10K by winning this competition. Yeah, so it's a good, very good competition. For Japan and Asia, you can take a look at the Kenjiku Sunjin-sen. This is the competition for the third and fourth year student, all in over Japan or the Asian country. So you can take part in that competition. The Archiprix C, held by the National University of Singapore, is a competition that I met Jeko here. Yeah, so this is a very good competition. Then, you are fully funded. The whole your team comes to Singapore, spending 1 week in Singapore, enjoy, and then we have a lot of activity, workshop, and meet other famous architects in Southeast Asia. This is a very good competition. You should look at this. A couple of years ago, the Singapore Institute of Architects, they held an annual competition in the sustainable design. It's called the SIA BCA Student Design Award. You should take a look at this. And of course, you will be fully funded if you are shortlisted to take part in this competition. So let me talk about the KAI project. There's kind of realized project. That's an actual project, like a town council. They want to design a kindergarten. They want to design renovate the campus. So they have a competition. This can be an open competition. That means the design firm can join, the student, anyone who has idea can join. Yeah. So the chance of winning this competition is a bit less than the conceptual project dedicated for the student. So I persuaded you to take a look at the conceptual project, the competition that for our student. So because we have a higher chance and we don't have to invest too much time on it, you have to take care of the entry fee, because most of the well-known competition is offered for free. You don't have to submit anything. You don't have to pay for anything. So make sure that the well-known competition sponsor with a generous sponsorship. They always have the entry free. You don't have to pay anything. Yeah. You need to look at the requirement with the different category, like student, year third, year fourth student, or young architect. You need to take a look at this appropriate category, and you need to look at the chance of winning, because we spend a lot of time in our studio project, and for competition, we spend maybe more than that, amount of time, and especially architecture students are in the kind of time, we always lack of time, So we need to look at the chance of winning. Like if a competition with thousands of submissions all over the world, the chance very low. So I persuade you do not take part in this competition, because you need to save time and increase the efficiency. Chance of winning is very important. So let's take a look at the competition in Bustler. Well, you go to that website, you find the appropriate competition. Sometimes on your school bulletin board. So maybe they will introduce you some of the competition appropriate one. Let me take a look at the CTBUH, the Student Design Competition. That's bring me the chance to visit New York. And in that time, I won the second prize. And a lot of career paths open for me. So this competition, you look at the requirement. So it's open to all the students enroll in the university level and focus on the tall building design by sustainability, applying the culture, the social aspect, and sustainability aspect in the design, and even the function of the building. So you look at the prerequisite requirement in the design. The Lafarge Holcim Foundation, they have a category for the next generation. Yeah. So architects who are under 30 years old, a student in a high level institution can join. So that's a very good chance. If you win this award, you are international recognized. Yeah. And some of my friends, they passed a very good career path. Some of them, after winning this competition, he got the scholarship to attend MIT. Yeah. So think about it. And this is the BCA, the SIA, and the Archipixie, which is a competition that I've been in, joined and shortlisted. Yeah. So you see most of these kind of competition are fully funded. You don't have to pay anything. If you win, find shortlisted, you have to travel overseas for free. Fully funded. So it's just a dream for our students, right? For the submission requirement, let's take a look at the CTBUH. So we need to read the design brief carefully, following the rules, judging criteria. If they need one or two border submission, the size, landscape or portrait, naming convention, the description, and order like movie or animation. So we need to take a look and strictly following the rules, because without following these rules, the submission will be omitted. So these are some of the very familiar, in these kind of competition, very familiar. You need to focus on the local climate, the social sustainability, the environmental sustainability, aesthetic, efficiency use of material space, social cultural condition, adaptability, and innovative program and functionality. So this is a very familiar for apply for any competition. So focus on these criteria will help you to increase your chance of winning a lot. And you see your tutor Jepko, he's in this in picture. A long time ago. So that's how we know each other. And this is my long time ago. And we also have a chance to work with very veteran, famous architect in Southeast Asia. And we attend the workshop. This guy Pratito, also my friend. He's after this competition, he won the chance, to pursue his master postgraduate study at MIT. By this competition. So how it's changed your life, right? So let's take a look. Okay, this is a very, I know this is not the hack, but this is a trick, my trick. So, in any competition, normally they have sponsor, right? Because they need to pay for the organization fee, traveling, accommodations, inviting the jury. Definitely they got a sponsor. So who's the sponsor? In the Archipixie, there's $100 award. The manufacturer of the facade, of the ceilings, exterior, in the build industry. So they are the sponsor. They pay for all the fee. Normally in the jury, apart from from the architect, right? From your professor, there would be one or two people came from the sponsor. And sometimes, because they spend the money, right? They have the power of selection. Who is the winner? So take care for that. So for that kind of competition, like I attend the Holcim Award, right? Holcim Award. So please, because all of the sponsor, they need to do a for their PR purpose. They need to show their brand, their name, for the PR purpose for any competition. So the most important thing, you should add the name of the logo on your design project. If they are like a ceiling manufacturer, you look at their catalog. You choose their product. You try to apply and then use it in your design. So this is a very interesting thing, because you can see how drastically change your result. Yeah. So you need to understand like what their the intention, what they're expecting you to do apart from the design and design competition. Yeah, they need to branding, they need to do their promotion, their branding. So this is very interesting. So I just give you a hint. The first hint, you need to put their logo, try to use the product in your design. Yeah, no matter how it should do, it drastically change the result, I tell you. So this is, you see, I put the Wholesome logo on my design competition and we won the first prize. Yeah, just yeah. The second thing, apart from the branding, okay, so you can see the how I change, how I adapt my studio project. You see the second year studio project, it's a kindergarten. All I hand drawing, you see how bad it is compared to my friend. Yeah. But next year when I joined a Japan and Singapore competition, I recycle it, I reuse it. Yeah, it depends on the competition guideline and rules, but most of the competition, they will allow you to do that. Right? So you save a lot of time and you have a chance to review your studio work, to review your work to improve it. Yeah, so you see in the competition, the Japan competition, I make a great improvement in my design studio with the, instead of hand drawing, I do the 3D modeling, making model, try my best to do that. Yeah, rearrange the layout a bit to make it look more impressive. Yeah, and that's why how I won the competition. You see the photo of me presenting. Yeah, because I won the Japan competition already. So I think, wow, this form and shape is interesting. So I try to reuse it again for apartment design. Yeah, I retain the form and shape. It's inherent for myself. The function I change. Yeah, so you see how it's affected. Yeah, and in this competition I won again. I was selected as a finalist. Yeah, so try to reuse and readapt. Yeah, and this design competition, when I submit for a Milan competition for the town council, they want to construct a new kindergarten in the outskirts of Milan, in Italy. So I won second prize. Yeah, it's a pity if I won the first prize. I got my first building realized in Europe already. So just think about it. Yeah. This all can start from your very name, from your very innocent project. The first or second year, anything can happen. Right? So try to recycle, to reuse, and adapt to the appropriate competition. For any competition, apart from the competition that you just submit and wait for the result, some competition, they have several round. And for the finals round, if you are selected as finalist, you need to present in front of the jury. So you see, the first time I was in Singapore in the occupancy with Jekyll. So how young, how native am I? Yeah, and not kind of professional presentation. Yeah, so in that time I was a third or fourth year student, so I enjoyed the fun over there. But for the other competition, the more mature you are, you need to be professional and improving the presentation skill, which can be change the game in the last minute. Yeah, because your project is good enough for a shortlisted project, but if you want to win the first and second prize, you need to be very good in presentation to convey your idea, to persuade the jury, the audience. Yeah, so this needs a practicing. Yeah, practice make perfect. Even me, I need to practice a lot from my very first competition. And the final thing is the chance of winning. I take you as an example as international, the Wholesome Awards, which is one of the prestigious award in the field of sustainable design in the world now. They have a category for the young architect. You look at the past year brochure, and yeah, so you can see that the number of submission. And the interesting thing is that it will judges by your location, your geographical location. You know, if you were in Asia, your project design Asia, right? So you will be put in the pool of like 1,000 submission. Yeah. So you see the chance of winning is very low, very low. Yeah, yeah. But if you put, yeah, you know, you design project somewhere in Africa or North America, you see, you can win the prize. You win, you know, $20,000, just winning over 100 competition. You know, yeah. If you want the top 5 in 100 submission, I mean, top 5 is 100 submission. It's somehow like your design studio, right? Yeah. So the chance of winning is very high. So to save time, we look at the past year competition and look at, you know, the chance of winning, yeah, and choose the appropriate category. So for my submission, okay, no matter my project is, I mean, I can change the location, right? Yeah, I changed to a location in Africa where they share a similar climatic condition. So, you know, I do not break the rules, right? Yeah, yeah. I strictly following the rules, but I increase 5 times my chance of winning. Yeah. So it has a great impact on your final result. So yeah. So take a look at the past competition and analyze, choose the appropriate category that helps to increase the chance of winning. And the final thing is the luck. I tell you, I have to tell you, because this is intangible. You know, you cannot touch it. You cannot know. Yeah, luck is depend on you also and the time. In year 2003, 2004, you know, all of my submission win. I tell you, in like 1 year, I submit 4 competition. I won 4 competition at the same time. So you need to utilize that precious time, because when it's over, you cannot do it again. Yeah. Now I still participate in some competition, but I do not win. You know, even I'm just shortlisted. I do not win the competition. So take the luck, take the time. Yeah. Anything, it's just happened once or 2 times. So utilize it. If you are in a good luck, or you meet a very talented people who have the luck, right? You should join with them, form a team, try to win. Yeah. So that's the luck. Yeah. Okay, so let me take a case study. I will share you my case study so you can have a clearer understanding of what I'm talking about. This is my submission in the CTB US design competition, which I won second prize and had a chance to visit New York to present with some of the star architects, like mostly Safdie, Biak Engel, and got the presentation over there. So all sponsor and got 5K back. Yeah, 5K. Yeah. Big money for me in that time. So this is my submission. So the first thing you see, because any jury, when they look at they have to check like hundreds of submission entry. We don't have time. Yeah. So you need to make that you have a very clear title, which is legible, and your target indicated on your panel, because don't have much time. They need to know, oh, what is your project? What is it about? What is looks so impressive? So make your title is very clear, clean, legible for anyone. I mean, the fifth grade student can't understand what are you talking about. So yeah, just make it very clear and clean. A second thing is you need to have an impressive rendering, which is easy to understand. When I talked to Safdie, he told me after the break, he told me, you know why I selected you as a finalist? And I said, no, maybe I'm in luck. He said no, because he looked at the second rendering. Yeah. Oh, he's been to Vietnam before, and he's quite interested in kind of Mekong Delta culture and atmosphere, very tropical one. So it's looking impressive, and that's why he chose me to be a finalist over the 100 submission. Yeah. So you need a very impressive rendering. Impressive rendering that anyone is catchy a bit for any audience to look at. Of course, in the architecture school, we this kind of rendering is very impressive. I really like this kind of rendering. This kind of a Japanese or European style rendering. Student came from Europe or Japan. They do this kind of rendering. Yeah, very artistic. But you know, not all of our jury are architects. Maybe they can be a town council member. They don't have architectural background. They can be engineer, or even they are businessman who pay for your prize, right? So they sit as a jury. So that's kind of rendering, okay, it's impressive for our student, our architects, but maybe for the other people, they don't know what is it about? What is your project? Why the sky should be blue and the building should be black or white? This cannot be red like that, right? They think like that. So make sure that the rendering should be easy to understand. So I do persuade you to use the realistic rendering, one or two, to make any people can easy to understand. What are you talking about? Yeah, easy. Yeah, this kind of rendering is very good. You can add one or two in your submission. So you balance between the architectural, aesthetic, and even easy to understand for other people who are not in the architecture background. Of course, you need to put some prologue, some description, because anyone need to read a bit. Don't put like one panel full of text or your methodology. No, just put a bit. Briefly introduce about your project. Where is situated? What is your target? What is your idea? How you translate it into the form and function to your design? Your design strategies. If you are designing a sustainable tower, so you need to briefly indicate what strategies you've involved in your project. Like I apply natural ventilation, lighting, I use the solar energy or local human resources, rainwater harvesting. So you need to put it, and using the icon. So anyone who look at this, don't have time to look at it, they can easily understand. And don't forget to put some basic information like the GFA, the height, the plot ratio, the green ratio, because most of our students, they just think about the concept, to convey the concept, not convey the data, which is very crucial for some jury and some engineer and designer. Sometimes just look at this, if you follow their rules, if everything is so clear and transparent, so it's make you stand out of 100 of the submission. For the site analysis and site photo, please add, because maybe we are in Southeast Asia, we can know where's your project is situated. But if you give me a project in Africa or South America, a country like Honduras or Peru, right? Maybe we don't know where is this located. What's the climatic condition? Yeah, we don't know about that. So please ask this thing. Some very basic information translated into the maps, very simplified maps, so everyone can understand some information about what are you talking about, the context of the slide. And for the diagram, you see the Biak angle big. How do they do a very good diagram, a sequence of diagram, how to transform to convey the idea to anyone. Yeah, it looks like a comic book rather than architecture design. Yeah. So make sure that any of your idea are conveyed into diagram. I don't need to write anything, but you look at this, you can understand what is your my concept. Yeah. Some sketches is important if you're good at sketching. So please add it in. You need to explain some diagram like how you're building, your function of your building, how to access your building, the transfer traffic, the human traffic, the green and the blue arrangement in your building. So make sure that everything is legible, clearly, easy to understand as much as possible. And of course, you need to put a master plan indicating the function building, even the plan. Don't need to put like 5 or 6 level plan. You don't have to put any plan or any section like tender submission. No, you just select the best view, select the best plan, which can convey your function, your design idea in the panel. Yeah, and don't forget to clearly indicate the function. Some of the students, we kind of artists, you put the plan and then, okay, ask other people to understand, but they don't have time. So please make sure to put this thing in, the function, the arrangement, all the annotation description, and the scale bar. Yeah, quite important. For the section, the section is something quite interesting because it reviews all of your systematic, your system, how it's work, how your space arranged, your strategy, sustainable strategy. So in 1 or 2 sections, please have to indicate it clearly. If you have your strategy, you should put it in. So here you can see how the water are harvested, how the ventilation apply for the ground floor, how the waste are treated, how the rainwater is harvesting and to water the green facade on the building. So just make your building impressive, easy to understand, and show how the system works. The last thing I recognize, because in any competition, we are just focused on the idea. Okay, you have a great idea and you think, well, anyone should be interested in that. But that's not, because apart from the quality of your design, we need to do some quantity analysis because it's reflecting the result, the efficiency in your strategy. So if you can do the simulation, if you can do the analysis, so please put it in. You should use the icon and percentage. Like here I put, okay, 40% of solar radiation is reduced on the facade after I do the simulation. So I can, make anything presented in the percentage figure. So anyone can just take a look at this and can easily, it's very persuasive. Yeah, you can easily understand, and it's so clear. Like you got 70% of like the walkway area, public space are covered by shadow. So you indicate it in your panel with your simulation and analysis. So every jury should be trust in that. Yeah, they trust in your design. You have the clue, and you have the consequence, and you have the very good result. Yeah. So make sure they use the icon and percentage to visualize the quantity and quality of your design. Of course, you have a lot of great idea. Like here, I use the green facades like a palm leaf to represent kind of coconut tree in my design. So you can put the different aspect of sustainability, your idea, and you need to have some blow-up detail section to indicate it, how it's work. This is a very important part in your design also. I think most of you will be familiar with that. So please have blow-up details and indicated on your panel. So in my conclusion, we need a clear, clean, easy to understand. Anyone can understand, even they are not in the architectural background. The 5th grade student can understand, okay, what is that design? Okay, and the logic. We need to indicate the quality and the quantitative of your design. Anything should be presented by number. So, and finally, it should respond to the judging criteria. Yeah. So that's the 5 thing, very important thing in design competition. Okay, so after competition, let's take a look to improve our portfolio. This is not my, not all of this is my, this part is for mine, but I refer to some other external sources and from my experience, I share with you. So portfolio is a crucial part for our architecture student, right? If you want to apply for a job, okay, where's your portfolio? You want to pursue a postgraduate study, where's your portfolio? So portfolio is a collection of assets in your design work. You should show your skill and think as a designer, how well you can communicate. And it should be your project. Yeah. So I take an example from my friend. He's graduated from Harvard, who are also the finalists in the competition in New York, and we know each other. So I take his portfolio as a reference. So the very second page of your portfolio, you should include a short CV of the content page. Because if someone want to review, you need to indicate your CV instead of separate CV. Yeah, so it saves their time, and they know more about you. You should add some of the photo here, like if you are in the crit. Yeah. It's very impressive, Yeah. You need to have 3 or 4 academic design project in your portfolio. Do not put any, like the first, second year project, all of that. No, do not put all. You just like 3 to 4 academic, the quality one in your project. Yeah, put it in your portfolio with some collage. This is like a motivation letter. If you want to explain a bit about you, make you stand out other people. So you put in the collage. So you should indicate the year. You see the project. You need to indicate the year, even the subject name, project title. Yeah. And if it is a group or professional work, or your role, you need to state your role and your responsibility. So here you see he put his name, his role, name of project, or where did he carry out this project. Yeah. So make sure that in every project, the very first page should have this information. So be economic with your pages. Yeah. So use them for your work. Yeah. Not for thank you. Or post very irrelevant content. Yeah. So because some of portfolio, they restrict the number of page, 30 page, 50 page maximum. So be economic with your pages. So, and the layout should be professional. Yeah. If you can do it in InDesign. You should demonstrate the sensibility of care. The layout, you see all of the images are tally, and they are put in proportion, text, images, annotation, anything is very clear, very neat and clean. Yeah, so be professional in the layout. Try to use the InDesign or maybe other software, layout software in this task. So in your portfolio, you need to demonstrate a wide range of skill set, maybe hand drawings, sketches, physical model, construction drawing if you work in a firm already, photography, render images, you should put it in. So it should a collection of range of your skill set rather than, if you can, rather than hand drawing or rather than 3D model only. Should a combination of these things. And you need to annotate the drawing and images. This is a very familiar habit of architecture student. We got lots of good and wonderful rendering and diagram, but we don't put any annotation, so no one knows what is it about. Yeah. So for any analysis, any diagram, annotate it carefully so anyone can understand what are you talking about. And because, in this period, so the hard copy is omitted, gradually omitted, disappear. Yeah. So you need to do something with the online portfolio, right? So you should have your personal website, kind of online portfolio, demonstrating your project. Yeah. So this kind is very interesting. You can promote yourself. Then if they are interested in you, they can take a look at this. Yeah. So it's very helpful. Yeah. And if you want to if you don't want to do a website, you can upload a portfolio in some publication platform like Issue. Yeah. It's a very good virtual portfolio platform. So you upload your portfolio, your collection of work here. Yeah. So anyone can take a look at this. Yeah. Very interesting. Some of the sources I persuade you to take a look at Issue, Wix. Wix is a good, very free, all of them are free. You don't have to pay anything. Wix.com, you can design your own website. Just drag and drop it from the layout. Yeah. And then you have your online portfolio published. Yeah. Squarespace. Yeah. If you have money, right, you can invest like $20 per year to register a domain name with your name, like rtabc.com. Yeah, so it's a kind of branding ourselves for any people in the world. They can look at this. It's free, and believe me, it's very easy to use. Yeah, you can buy, I mean, $20, you can buy a yourname.com. Yeah, so think about it. So some of the example, we can avoid to make this mistake. Like you see this curve layout, you see it's a quite bad layout. The color scheme look very itchy. Yeah, you cannot catch my eye. What is about the text and the arrangement is not tally at all. Yeah, so you see, we'll make sure that we do not do like this bad layout, color scheme, annotation. Yeah, make sure. Kind of layout, you can put some hand sketching, but it's not, if it's not good enough. So think about it, shouldn't we put it in or just ignore? You see the layout is not well prepared and arranged. Yeah, and this is a very, very familiar mistake, and I used to do like that before. So need to look at some example, issue or Wix. Yeah, look at the portfolio, how they arrange, how they do the layout to improve. Yeah, do not make any mistake like this. Yeah. Sometimes, right, you have a great idea, you try to convey it into diagram. Yeah, but kind of diagram like this, I don't understand, really don't understand what is it about, because the scale, the text is too small. Yeah, and I don't understand what is it about. Yeah, you understand, we cannot. Yeah, so do not do kind of diagram like this. Yeah, it's not useful at all. If you need to explain more, you need to write, have more text description. Yeah, if you want to represent the figure, you need to use the text description. Yeah, so make sure that all of your diagram is very clear. Some of the students, they put the grasshopper, the code, the visual code on it. Yeah, it's still quite impressive, Yeah, but if I am not architect, I just an town council. Wow, town council member. I don't understand what is it about. Yeah, so do not put this information like this unless you want to demonstrate like the Rhino skill or the Revit skill, the coding skill. So yeah. Okay, so the third part is about. Sorry.
Can I break for a minute? Maybe we can take a short break so that you can rest your voice for a while.
Okay.
Usual problems during lectures, right? It's been already an hour.
Yeah.
So we can have a 5-minute break so that you can rest your voice. And we thank you for allowing us, for sharing your time with us. We are really enjoying your lecture and how was the career path. We enjoyed that. Okay, so
okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, let's take a break. I stopped sharing the screen.
Hi, Wapsa. Can you share your 5-minute countdown, please? Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I'm still around. I think we can take a break for 5 minutes. Yeah. You can, you can ask me something, think about,
You can pick up, yeah. We encourage our listeners. You can comment below our Facebook Live. Your comments. hello, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Before we resume, hi, Kwan.
Hi. Yeah.
Yeah, your camera's off.
Okay, I turn on my camera. Okay, let's just
Okay.
refresh myself a bit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, before we resume, can we ask what
Sure.
are the plugins or softwares you use for your sun shadows, wind shadows?
Okay.
What were the plugins you used?
Okay, so let me take a look back to the slide. I think I share my screen again. Share my screen. Okay, so this kind of simulation software, I use the Ecotech, the Autodesk Ecotech 2011, yeah, to do this simulation software. So let me talk to you a bit about this. So I have a website, a fan page about this software. I can share with you later. So all of the solar radiation simulation and shadow simulation, you just draw a massing in SketchUp or other software, import to the Ecotech, and then run simulation. So you got these results. Depend on your location and your local climate condition. For this CFD, the computational fluid dynamic simulation. So I use a plugin called WinAir. This software is developed long time ago. Yeah, quite light software. So you can do this simulation with the prevailing wind to visualize your ventilation effect on that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
later I can share with you in the link. Consists of this software. Yeah, this tutorial.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. I'm gonna share it with our students as well.
Yeah.
So that is it a freeware so that you can use it with their plates?
It's a paid version, but actually you don't have to pay for it. They have a trial function. The only thing different is that you cannot save your project after doing the analysis. So you just install and use. Normally, you don't have to save because this simulation will take like 1 or 2 hours. Then you just screenshot, you got the result. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay.
Okay.
Now I
Yeah.
think we can resume with your talk.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
want to steal your show. I mean, at the moment. Yeah, we thank you. Okay, you can now resume.
Okay. Okay. So let me start with the part 3. Studying and working abroad. What I have learned about sustainable design. What did I change in my mind? I changed about my thing about the design and work, architectural work. So let me talk about why I chose Singapore. Singapore is one of the developed country in Southeast Asia, even in the world. They have a very good background in sustainable design, and it's situated in Southeast Asia. So I got familiar with the culture, and even the important thing is the language is English. Singapore has a quite lower tuition fee comparing to USA, UK, Australia. And the important thing is that because I want to work after my graduation, so the Singapore, they offer a work visa available for foreigner. If you're under the MOE bond, Ministry of Education bond, you are eligible for 3-year working after your graduation. Yeah, it's a duty. Yeah. So compared to USA, to obtain H1B, very tough. Yeah, it also depends a lot. So Singapore is a good choice for this. Yeah. They also have a tuition fee loan and financial scheme available for international students. If you attend the public school, it's near my hometown, so I can travel back to my hometown, visit my family at the weekend. A similar culture. Important thing is English is a working language. Because I worked in Europe before in Belgium. Because of language, they use the French and Dutch. Yeah, so it's very tough for me to find a job and to adapt to the environment over there. So all of these reasons, that's why I choose Singapore. And last but not least, because I've been to Singapore before, even in NUSM competition. So I'm quite interested in that. So I studied at NUS, National University of Singapore. So the school has a quite good reputation in architectural design, and it's ranked top in Asia and 11th globally in the design field. In top 10. And also you see the infrastructure, the facility is very good for us. Yeah, this is a swimming pool where I enjoy after swimming, after study. Everything integrated in a campus, a village campus, a Utah campus. That you don't have to go out. Yeah, you live there, you eat the food there, you study there, you relax there. So it's very convenient for me. This is a school of design environment. Maybe Jeffco, you feel it's strange, a bit new, yeah, because this is the SDE4, the new building of the School of Design Environment. So this is the first net zero energy building in Singapore. So in this building, all of our studio are held here. And the interesting is that they apply a lot of passive design strategy, rainwater harvesting, and even all of the energy are net zero because we have a rooftop, a system roof to harvest the energy from this PV panel. So you do not to rely on the electricity from the town. Yeah. So this is a good place for you to learn the sustainable design of this building. I attend this Master of Science in Integrated Sustainable Design, which is quite familiar to my favorite. So let me introduce you a bit about this program. And actually, my professor wants to introduce you to. It's focused on the Singapore and Asian condition. And it's focused on the challenging by tackling both the building and urban scale, integrating knowledge from discipline of architecture, engineering, landscape design, planting design, urban design, biological design, science. So if you are not come from architectural background, you are an engineer, HVAC engineer, or you can be landscape architect, urban architect. You can join this course, this postgraduate course, no matter you came from. Yeah. And students came from a variety of disciplinary. Yeah, in my batch, some students came from China, India, from Philippines, Indonesia. Yeah, some came from Europe, USA. In that time, my batch, I'm the only Vietnamese in my batch. And the important thing is it's a 1-year degree. Yeah, you save a lot of time, money. Yeah, I just want to quickly graduate it and find a job. So I choose this program. It's appropriate for me. I don't have to invest too much on the tuition fee. So after graduation, you some of them return to their home country to become a lecturer, like Jeko. Some of them work in the design industry, architecture industry, or you can pursue to PhD. This is a Master of Science degree, which is not not a professional degree. Depend on the country, but it is open a variety of choice for you after graduation. You can be a researcher, you can be a PhD student, or you work as an architect like me. It's no problem. Yeah, it's quite open for you. And the program focuses on the Singapore Asian condition with a systemic thinking, assessing the project in different scale, different category and system. So I will share with you later in the student work. Yeah, and we also work with different disciplinary expert in the field. Like we work with the EDF Lab in Singapore. They do the energy, the tour for energy consumption, reduce the energy consumption. Or we work with the solar, the PV lab study in Singapore, in US. So the expert from the solar PV, they have some lecture to us. And even we work with the ecological expert to study about the plants, the animals, the flora and fauna. So, I mean, it's not an architecture design program, but it is a integrated program. So you can learn from the people from the different field. So in 1 year, you have the urban scale design studio. So some courses will support you the principle of sustainable urbanism, the building scale. You will learn the green building in the tropic. For the energy system, you will take a course from energy ecology from one of the prominent professor from the Prague University of Technology. For the idea and framework, you study about sustainability model and blueprint. Some professor came from South Africa, come to Singapore to teach you about this module. The integration progress, so you learn from the project-based learning, case by case. If you're interested in simulation, like CFD or solar simulation, you take a course in NUS. So they offer you the courses with the appropriate professor and software. This is a project-based and cross-disciplinary learning. Yeah. So, and I have to tell you, it's a very stressful program. But you spend time and you learn. You broaden the view. So every week we got a crit to explain. Yeah, and you have to do it like every week. So the professor catch up with you 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, to improve and to push you on the study and the concept development. So what is the difference between this program, this studio, compared to the formal architecture studio? In our undergraduate study, our studio is focused on the real project. Like first year, I do the cafe shop design. Second year, I do the kindergarten design. Third or fourth year, we do the resident dormitory or even stadium design, in our studio. But this one is not architecture design project. It's just a integrated one. So we focus on the systemic thinking. What is systemic thinking? I start with the building scale project first. This is my project to revise the Park Royal Hotel. So every student, they choose their assigned to a building, existing building in Singapore, and they need to study how to improve it, how to make it become more livable buildings, how to redesign, rethink it to be self-sufficient in terms of energy, in terms of food, in terms of increase the connectivity with infrastructure and the people. So in this design studio, we are very lucky because we got the guidance from architect Wong Mong Sum from Woha Architect, one of the most famous architect in Southeast Asia, where he teaching this building scale project. So this is my my project. Actually, this is a submission for another competition after my design studio project. Yeah. So you see, I strictly follow the rules, which I have mentioned you before about this project. So this is a rethinking of a self-sufficient hotel in the tropic. The case study in Singapore, the Park Royal Hotel on Beach Road. So the very first stage, we need to respond to the site. So we study the building in terms of the 1 by 1 kilometer scale. We study about the surrounding buildings, because the building is now situated opposite to the Arab Street, which is a very interesting tourist spot in Singapore. It inherit from the Malaysian, the Islamic culture. So it's very interesting in this area. You have the new, the old and the new. You have the park. You have the river with the water reservoir next to it. So it's very interesting location. So we study about the asphalt map, the public space map, and the green space, and you see the integration, the existing condition of the site to their neighborhood. Yeah. So this in this stage take us three weeks to study in depth. This is just a very small portion of what I presented on the panel. But this is to just give you some of the glimpse on what I have to for the culture and architecture relationship, because it's situated next to the Arab Street you see in this area. So I'm thinking about how to make it integrated, incorporated into the existing site. Yeah, you see the 1 by 1 kilometer of terracotta roof shop houses, yeah, with yellow, orange terracotta roof. So how to make it? I think about the shape of the roof. You see the zigzag roof like this, or the shop house roof, with the existing urban pattern. Yeah, when you trace it over the map, so you see the void and the solid area. So I thinking about it, and I decided to make a very big roof as a community space. Yeah, divided by different axes to represent, to make it as a incorporate whole to respond to the site. And this is my design, a very big roof, orange roof, slope roof like this, inherited from the existing site condition, to have to be a part of my building. So this is my idea. So for the creative approach, from an existing building like this, a hotel and the lobby below. So I'm thinking about, let me zoom it a bit. Yeah. So I'm thinking about, with a very conventional hotel, lobby and commercial car park like this, it segregate the highway and Arab Street. So I'm thinking about open it up, yeah, lift the hotel and lift the first floor plan, make it become an open public space, connect with the tourist spot here, connect them with the park, yeah, and incorporating the green spaces with the commercial space here, yeah. And we even have one free the ground floor. The ground floor is not enclosed anymore. Yeah, you can free the ground floor. So we have multiple access connection between the park and the Arab Street. Yeah, and all of this will be covered by a system of roof, which help to equip with the solar PV to generate the electricity, creating shadow, and incorporate with the green, and even help the water harvesting in the building. So you can see now it's become a unified whole, incorporating building into the site. This is the one, yeah, you see the building arranged on the east and west orientation to reduce the effect of the solar radiation. We connect with the prevailing wind orientation, create a connection with the site. There's a very big mosque over here, so it increase the connection, the connectivity between the existing old and new town, and even have one or two more pedestrian overhead bridge to connect with the park in the opposite. Yeah, and everything is covered with a system of eave and roof to represent the color, the architecture form and shape of the opposite side, the old side, make it spreading around, connect to the park in the opposite. Yeah. So that's my idea. And this is my function. Actually, it's a student project. So you see, I use a isometric to show the resident block, the hotel, restaurant, the commercial block, open space, even parking. Yeah. So I do it in isometric like this. Yeah. And all the space are indicated. So I have a big roof, do the farming, on top, to make it not only self-sufficient in terms of energy, in terms of water harvesting, but also the energy and farming self-sufficiency. So this is a section. You can see we have a quite big roof, harvesting water for plantation over here, for farming, urban farming, solar PV, a lot of solar PV, and connect to the existing site. Yeah. So even the form, the shape is incorporated into a unified whole. Yeah, and this became spreading of the Arab Street tile, spreading to the park with a lot of activity, open air activity, and all of these areas are shade with solar PV on top to generate the power for a self-sufficient building. So the other sustainability aspect, like the passive design, we study in depth, and we do, with the solar graph to indicate the sun orientation, and calculate for the passive design strategy what is the percentage of area that has the natural ventilation. Yeah, we study about the skin of the building, the facade building, based on the angle and orientation. So to see how many area are covered by shadow, and how many electricity we can generate it from the rooftop like this. Yeah, will it be accommodate enough for the resident in the hotel? Yeah, so we study about that. Yeah, so but after a couple of try and do. So this is the final result. So we nearly achieve 40% of energy sufficiency. Yeah, because the hotel, they use a lot of energy for cooling and lighting. So this is the maximum that we can achieve. Hotel is quite a bit tough for the self-sufficient. We study about the water, how we are harvesting the water for watering the plants, for watering the urban farming. Yeah, how do we incorporate the water feature in the design to improve the local climate and to improve the atmosphere over there, incorporate with the landscape. So for the food and vegetable, so it's enough to be self-sufficient. 144% can provide for the neighborhood also, and for the water is enough. 2 times double than the required amount to watering the plants, and even for cleaning or flushing in the hotel. Yeah, so that's our target. We meet the target. Yeah. And you see all of these information is represented in the icon. Very easy to understand. All the fact, all the figure. We need to calculate and do it very clear. Make everything quantitative to understand. So this is my project. The second thing I'll show you, this has come with the book. Later I'll share with you, all of you. This is one of the latest book from my professor. It's incorporate 3 consecutive studio work, urban scale design project in this studio. What we've done in the ISD programs about sustainable design in terms of urban scale and metropolitan. So later I'll share with you the full link of the book. So anyone who are interested, they can look at this. In my year, 3 years ago, we have a great trip into Shanghai. And this is the largest city in China, maybe one of the largest cities in the world, the metropolitan. So Shanghai has grown rapidly and is experienced a drastic spatial restructuring over the past 4 decades. Yeah, since the economic reform began. And now the Vietnam, we share the same situation. We started after the economic reform. So there's a lot of transition in terms of urban pattern in Shanghai. And the city is quickly become the world's largest cruise port in the industrial area. And it's designated to become the new district to promoting the international trade, scientific innovation, entrepreneurship, imposing constraint on the district. Yeah. So this is a kind of a district loss in the urban transition. So we think about how to improve it. In our studio, we study the site in 4 different scale, the metropolitan scale. So this scale is 110 by 110 kilometer. This scale helps to understand the relationship between the urban footprint and its territory, the urban sprawl, the compactness, the urban limit and density. Yeah. So it's present the quality of urban context according to the geographical and climate condition, the movement of the economy, and the resource flow. So here we study in depth of 100 kilometer in 3 cities, Bangkok, Hong Kong, and Shanghai. Yeah. And then we focus on the city scale, 10 by 10 kilometer. So in this scale, we can study about the zoning to help to understand the land use and urban dynamic. Yeah. In this scale, the balance between the density and the livability is apprehended. District scale, the 5 by 5 kilometer. So in this scale, we can study about more about the land use, the programs, the density, the distance, and then we can incorporate some of the feature like the district cooling, power generation system, urban agriculture waste treatment, and infrastructure in this scale. And the last scale, we take a plot of 500 by 500 meter to study in depth about the function and the building. Here, the hybrid architecture and can be integrated in this scale. And we can apply the passive design strategy in applying the lower energy demand we can do to improve the local climate in this scale. So that's a 4 scale that we study. And in our year, we study in Shanghai, Baoshan district. So we are divided into 5 groups to study 4 different locations. The Gushan Park, Jielian, the first steel plant in Shanghai, the Youyi Road, and the Lake Meilan. So we study about 4 sites. Yeah, we have different location and even the different characteristic. So for the 4 sites, you see the 4 sites indicated on the plan. Yeah, and our group is the Gushan Park. Yeah, this site. We do geography and climate study. Yeah, so because each city has a different and similar climatic condition. So in the very first stage of our project, we study about this thing. This would have a lot of effects on our design, and we also study about the climate, a microclimate, of the Shanghai and Baoshan district. This is what we do. Yeah, we study about even the tidal map, the elevations, the water bodies, how's the air quality, the air temperature map. Yeah, so we do the mapping, and we have to look for the information. Students take 1 month to do these analysis and conclusion. Yeah, so this is what we've done for the very first stage to study about the climate of Shanghai and Baoshan district. After that, we study about the natural resources. So natural resources consist of the green, the planting, the pool, the water, suns, energy, thermal, anything that related to natural resources. We study in depth. Even the human factor we also study in. So this is what we've done for the Shanghai, the whole area, with a cooperation with some of the research group in Tongji University in Shanghai. Yeah, so we do the study of the green distribution, the ecosystem services. What service need to be preserved? What is the quality of the flora and fauna? What is the reconstructing villages, residents, the air pollution, soil pollution, water pollution. So this takes a couple of months to study in depth of this information from with the cooperation from the local student and institution. We study about mobility, mapping all of the road, the main road, highway, arterial road, the study of the MRT, the typical section, how to connect the 5 sites together to improve the infrastructure. And this is applicable not only to Shanghai, but for the other city in Southeast Asia. Yeah. We study about the urban quality. Yeah, urban quality is quite important. Yeah, so we study how Shanghai has transformed from a city, a very underdeveloped city, to one of the most developed city in the world right now. We study about the urban transition, the housing revolution, the transformation of the traditional villages, how the shift in the typology, and the spatial restructuring under the socialism. Yeah, so we study in depth about it. Even the energy situation, we also study about how energy are used in Shanghai, using this flow as Sankey diagram to study how energy are generated, how is consumed, how is transferred, how many percent used in each sector, and what sector can be improved. Yeah. So yeah, and we take some of the site in Shanghai, the 5 site, to study about the energy consumption, and do some survey with the local resident there for this map. And we start the mapping of the 5 site. We do the mapping, in 15 layers. Yeah. So to study in depth about it, we split into 15 layers: the satellite map, topography, pollution, the green network, the blue network, the public space, the road map, asphalt map, mode of transportation, mode flow of movement, building footprint, building programs, building height, energy consumption, and the UHI map. Yeah. So we use some of the software provided by the university to simulate the temperature map, the UHI map here. So after studying it, we think about revising the existing situation to how to make the site become a more economic, more livable environment, and can to incorporate the different feature in sustainable design, like the blue, the green, enhance the people connectivity with the increased public space, public services, and make it become a very livable environment for anyone. So this is our design studio in our panel, the Gusan Park. Yeah. So you see from the existing commercial and conventional housing, we decided to which part of area should be re-improved, how it can incorporating the sustainable design strategy, how we generated the electricity by ourselves to be self-sufficient, how to utilize the water body as a district cooling network to reduce the energy consumption, to increase the public space, creating more connection, and make the park is not an isolated realm on now. It's open for anyone, a park, an inhabited park. Yeah, not an isolated park, just for some class of the people. Yeah. So we study about this. You can see the before and after in our proposal to the city council. So for the master planning process, we also do by decompose different layers, the green, the public space, the mobility, and the buildings. We decompose it. Yeah. So we split into the urban amateur and urban apparatus. Yeah. To combine into master planning. Yeah. So maybe you who have done the urban planning design studio, we can familiar with that. And we also think about expanding the connection, the connectivity to the other side. Yeah. So we study about the movement of the green corridor, the blue corridor, how to interact it, the change of mobility, how to expand the public amateur to the surrounding neighborhood. Yeah. And we also study some of the typology, which can be applicable for the site, like the commercial, the mixed use, the hospital, the school. Yeah. And we do a cross-section indicated all of these strategies, what we have to make it become more sustainable neighborhood. So after doing the 5 site, we got a new city master planning, integrated ecology and mobility on the site. So you see, after we superimpose our 5 site on, right? So we have a new map of Baoshan district, which can reflect all of the strategy integrated in. Yeah, so we propose to the city council the mobility, the energy water network, the revised ecological network, how 5 sites have been connected with the green corridor, with the blue corridor, how energy are distributed, how waste management, how the 5 sites are connected by a new public transport system. The last thing of the panel, we came with the calculation. So we make everything in number, a percentage. It should be visible on the panel. So we do anything not by feeling, you add the tree, decorate our building with some plant, and you say that's become a green building. No, we do by the quantitative method. So we assess based on the number, the figure. How's the public green space increase? How's the walkability has increased? How many people using the transportation by estimation? We do like that. So everything represented by the number. As you can see, the permeable surface, how it's reduced, how we add more green, how much, everything. How energy are generated. Is it enough for the self-sufficient on our side? Yeah. So how to reduce how much the energy demand has been reduced by applying these strategy. How much greenhouse gas emission has been reduced. And we also have several scenario. We use a tool by the EDF Lab in Singapore, doing this tool for calculating simulation of the energy using on the site. So we have 3 scenarios with different, more rooftop, garden, solar PV on roof, kind like that. So we have different scenario, and we can assess the most appropriate one to reduce the energy consumption. Even it's applied for the ecosystem services. So you can see how much has been improved. The air has been improved after implementation of this strategy. The connectedness has increased. The acoustic have been reduced because you plant more tree, so the noise is reduced. So we study in depth about it. Okay, so let me share with you a bit about the project which I've been working with my professor, Dr. Nimal Kisnani. He's used to be the vice dean of the school design environment at the National University of Singapore, and he's also the program director. I met him during the time I was in Singapore in the architect competition with CTB. And I know about this program. So we've been working together for 2.5 years. I'm responsible for the graphic production and graphic coordination of this book, which is called the Ecopuncture, Transforming the Architecture and Urbanism in Asia. So we studied quite in depth of 20 projects in Asia in different scale, from Vietnam to Philippines to Indonesia to China, to Singapore, and we use the same thinking, the systemic thinking, water system, energy system, food system, So we study in depth about this. So the book will cover the exceptional project in Asia with the new design approach, and it's also raised the question about the impacts and transformation after the project we realize. So at the building scale, we study about the form, the fragmented elevated layers, how energy are generated, how we reduce energy, kind like what we've done in our studio project. At the urban scale, so we study about the ecosystem services used as a framework for describing the flow and process to recover the brownfield, to study about the water network to restore, which has been fragmented by pollution or industrialization. So to know more about this book, you should look at the, you take a look at the ecopuncture-asia.com. So this is a book, and published by BCI Asia. So you can take a look at this if you want to study in more depth about sustainable design, about systemic thinking. And yeah, I'm very happy because I was involving in the production, the graphic and a part of this book. So, yeah, you should take a look at this. Okay, so the most important thing, of being an architect is to earn money, to find a job to earn money. Yeah, we're talking about, okay, sustainable, saving energy, saving the green for the animals. Yeah, but we need a job to survive, to sustain, to survive. Yeah, that's just the happiest thing of being an architect. So find a job and earn money. I will share you about my experience from my practical from Singapore, because I think this is the last part, which is very crucial for anyone. Okay, so how to find a job in a developed country? Yeah, some of the profession they're very lucky. Like if you are an IT programmer, you can work in Vietnam, you can work in the Philippines, you can earn the money because IT is a universal standard. You are not restricted by the local code, by degree, or even the language. A lot of my friends work in the IT profession and they're not good at English at all. But architecture is different. Architecture is something, we are constrained by the degree. Yeah. If you want to be a practice architect, you need a degree. You need a degree, You need to pass the license exam, right? You need to be graduated from accredited university, and you need to understand the local code and regulation. Yeah, so there's a lot of constraint in this. Yeah, so it's very tough for me. So this is my timeline, which I have been gone through. So it's taken me 9 months for the math and science degree, 1 year, but actually 9 months, 2 semesters. That in this 9 months, I spent 3-4 times finding a job. During this time, I improved my networking. You need a networking at school. You can ask your professor for your referral, or from the career fair. Yeah, and you need to equip with the skill set like the BIM, the Revit, the visualization. Yeah, and your design experience. You got it via competition. So this helped for the finding of the job. It just took me 3 months. Yeah, it's not easy, to find a job in Singapore in the architecture design. It's not easy compared to the other sector like the IT. Yeah. After you find a job, and you have to wait for the work pass application. The work pass depends on your qualification, your nationality, your salary. Yeah. So it takes 1.5 months until you can start your work with the work commencement. So this is a timeline I have gone through from a student, international student, then become architectural associate in Singapore. So compared to the other country like USA, okay, USA very very strict now for the visa, the work visa, the H-1B. Yeah, it's quite tough to obtain a visa, even you got the job. But in Singapore, it's a bit relaxed than USA or UK. So you need to study to be eligible to work in Singapore. You need to study about the requirement and eligibility of the pass, the employment pass. So you look at the Ministry of Manpower to study about this thing. So very clear, the key fact, the eligibility, the pass, the document required. So make sure that you read through the condition to prepare, so you have no problem when you're doing the work pass application. Yeah. So in my case, because it's very tough for me to find a job. Because English is not my mother tongue, or even the second language. It's just a foreign language. So my English is not as well as you guys like local Singaporean. So I think about looking for a job that came from my strong point, my advantage. I know Vietnamese, right? So instead of finding architect's job or urban planner job, right? I search my Vietnamese, and you see what happened. I find it by my advantage, and you see, right? Some position is specific only for Vietnamese speaker, So that's my strong point. I apply for this project. I have no rival, This became my this came from my disadvantage. It become my disadvantage become my advantage, right? So I'm not good at English. I'm not fluent as you guys or local Singaporean or American or English. But some specific job, right? They need the job done. In my case, for the Vietnamese, and you gotta be the effort in Vietnam. So if I apply this job with my degree from Singapore, definitely I have a very higher chance of admission. So that's why I find a job. A second thing, I try to find some job, the other job that doesn't require the local standard, the local degree, or they do not require good command of English. So I looked at the Beam. Beam is a very good thing. You see, there's a lot of Beam jobs in Singapore, and the salary is quite good, right? 4 or 5K. Yeah. The good about the Beams, why is good investment? Because Beam do not require any local code or regulation. It's a universal standard. You do the Revit in Vietnam, you do Revit in USA, in Europe, it will be the same. Same way of modeling, same way of model. Right? And there's no need experience. Fresh graduate can easily find a job with Beam, because most of the architecture job, to be an architect, you need like 5-6 years of local experience. So all of your overseas experience will not be applicable. The Beam can be self-taught. You can learn it by yourself. Thousands of tutorials online. You can learn it. And it's upgraded every year. What is interesting of this thing? Because it's the Autodesk keep issuing the new version of Revit, AutoCAD, Revit, Serious Max every year, right? So that's a good thing for us, the young people. Because the old people, the experienced, the veteran architect, they don't know about this, right? This is our strong point, because we are more adapted, upgraded with this technology and software. So this is a very good strong point for you. For us, we could upgrade it every year. So even if you start with no experience, you can easily find a good job with Beam, because you are fluent with Revit, you're fluent with software, you are very fast in learning. Technology can catch up. So compared to our senior who do the hand drawing from the 70, 80 decade, you have a lot of strong point, right? So you study about the Beam and ArchiCAD. So you can apply as a Beam modeler, Beam coordinator, or Beam manager if you have more experience. So it's easy to find a job than to be an architectural associate like me. You can invest the money, like 5 or 6K to study some specialist diploma in Beam, in building information technology. So it's a very short course, like 6 months. Then you got the diploma, specialist diploma, and this one is very useful in Singapore, even other country, because Beam is now a trend. The Beam is now the standard already, and our young generation can easily learn this. Yeah, this is our advantage compared to the experience and older generation. Yeah, they got experience. They know about the local code, local building, but they do not know about BIM. Yeah, we don't know about the local code, the experience in construction, but we know about this technology. So take it as our advantage. So you see a difference, big difference. And it's a good investment. You can study part-time. Yeah. Another way to have a job here is to be a 3D artist, an architectural visualizer. Same as I told you before, the 3D artist just responsible for visualizing, visualizing the structure of the architect. You need a lot of skill. You need to be very fast. You need to be upgraded, equipped with the software, like rendering software, Photoshop, making animation. Yeah. So I guarantee with you, you will have no rival, no, in terms of this field, because they need young, passion architect to do this job. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about year of experience or overseas experience from the old generation. No, we don't have to worry for that. Yeah. So the same as BIM manager, no code or regulation, no need experience. Yeah. Fresh graduate can easily find a job, can be self-taught. Yeah. You just upgrading the skill, the software every year. Yeah. And you need a very good skill, fast and productive. Yeah. You should learn about the rendering software, 3ds Max. You apply for the 3D visualizer. So this is our choice, this is our advantage. Yeah, so don't worry about that. Yeah, and you should be equipped with this kind of software. Yeah, Xenon 4D, V-Ray, Autodesk 3D Max, Lumion's, Adobe Suite. Yeah, you equipped with this skill, so you can easily find a job. Believe me. Yeah, yeah. Our foreigner, if you have this skill, right, still can find a job. It's easier than to be an architect overseas in developed country. Okay, so I finished my presentation today. 2 years, quite long, but I hope that you enjoy it. The part of the book, the part and the whole I show you, this one consists of the all our studio project, right? Yeah, which I showed you before. The book is issued by the National University of Singapore. So my professor agreed to me to share with you. You can download it, yeah, to share with your friend, yeah, yeah. And all of our design studio in our program are here. You can study about design strategies to see and to change the thinking in sustainable design. If you really want to be a sustainable designer, yeah. So I hope that it will help you. Yeah, it's collection of our project, quite interesting. Yeah. So and you can see my work over here with my group. So yeah. So this is for free. I'll send you and share you the link later. So anyone, you just download and share with your friend. Yeah, I got approval from my professor. So
Wow, thank you.
Yep. Okay, and to end the talk today, I'll show you a short video clip, 5 minutes, about sustainability. This came from my professor, came from the book. Okay, so enjoy it.
The threats of climate change and species extinction are related to what we build and how this in turn affects the way we live. This is particularly urgent in Asia, where change is happening at a fast pace. There is an emerging view here that small steps are not enough, that we must take a big step forward. Some Asian designers show us how this might be done, how the very act of design can become a force of positive change.
For about 18 years, we've been looking at ways of incorporating greenery on the roofs and other areas of buildings. And then a few years ago, we thought, once we've got this sort of infrastructure of life-bearing areas of the building, you can actually think a little more strategically about what that might be. This greenery could perform other services such as food and vegetables or supporting ecosystems. I think it's a whole great and exciting new avenue to think about designing for life rather than just designing for humans.
We are responsible for the problems faced by our planet. We have polluted water and air, contaminated soil, released carbon into the atmosphere, and replaced natural ecosystems with cities and farms. To do less harm today is simply not enough. We must find ways to repair and restore, to do good. Our buildings and cities must protect and support nature so that life can flourish. But what does this look like, and how does it work?
Oasia Hotel Downtown is a 27-story mixed-use development comprising commercial component of offices and hotel component above the offices. It's an almost 200-meter tall tower, which has only a footprint of 45 meters. We managed to create a living facade. It actually allows creepers, shrubs, and trees on the horizontal level as well to become a ecosystem for animals, and particularly for climbing animals. With a post-construction survey and audit, we found animals able to moving on to the building itself. We realized that if the buildings of this nature were next to parks, we could extend the urban habitat substantially.
Oasia Hotel Downtown is an example of constructed nature, the overlay of human-made and natural systems. But how do designers begin this process of integration, and how can they know if it will work?
We need a more effective, more inexpensive, and more multifunctional landscape approach. Underneath is the nature. Above is culture. You cannot separate culture from nature. Ecology is essential. You following the natural rhythm or following the natural pattern to create a new form. The river systems, wetland systems, natural forest. So these will provide ecological services. Yanweizhou is located in Jinhua City in Zhejiang Province. It is inspired by the Chinese farming technique to create flood-adaptable landscape or resilient landscape. We deliberately remove the concrete wall to transform the gray industrial infrastructure and replaced with terraces of vegetated landscape. We built this park in the center of the city. Before, the city was separated by two rivers, and we built a bridge across the two rivers. And because of the recovery of the ecological green heart in the center, now this park become a meeting place. The bridge become a public space connecting the separated city. It become a catalyst, socially, culturally, and economically.
We are quickly discovering that nature sustains our lives through the services it provides, and that we must not disrupt these services, where possible, mimic them in the things that we create. Can buildings, for instance, purify the air? Can a park clean water? Can a neighborhood act like a forest? These ecosystem services are vital if we are to survive and thrive as a species.
I call my approach the art of self. Planning and design based on ecology.
We want to leave the Earth at least no worse off and hopefully in a better position than we found it. A well-functioning ecosystem is almost the most enjoyable environment to be in. We can create substantial ecosystems in the city. People are happier, people are healthier, the air is cleaner, we're using less energy, which in the end will translate to economic savings as well. So it seems like a no-brainer, right thing to do.
Change begins with imagination. We must visualize a more connected, livable, and compassionate world in which all life is valued. The designers in this video ask if their work can become a force of good. Now imagine a world in which every building, every park is the same. Acts of eco-puncture that seek to reconnect humans with nature.
Okay, thanks. I think I finished my presentation today. Hope you enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the floor is open for questions from our audience. May I ask our hosts, Rainier, facilitators?
So for your questions, kindly chat it on the box or on the chat box and will be answered later at the open forum. I'm sure that our speaker would be pleased to answer them. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.
Okay, so before we move on to the Q&A, so Architect can have a break on to rest his voice, we would like to move on to our little icebreaker. So for the mechanics of the icebreaker, first person who will answer the question correctly will be the one who will receive a 50 pesos worth of load voucher from the event sponsor at Etudesu and drafting materials from the managing committee. Okay, so for our first, just guess the gibberish word is bunch pop square pants. So ano yun po yung mga ano po yung naiisip natin dito? May nakasagot na po ba?
Sasagot.
Okay, may nakasagot na ata. Okay, may nakasagot na po. So, thank you. So, for the next question, please, paki-slide po. Sagot po. Yun, SpongeBob SquarePants po. So, next is okay, may sagot na po tayo. Sagot po ay ham and cheese po. Okay. Next question is, next slide.
Sino mo nanalo?
Okay, so for the mechanics of this, yung winners po, announce na lang.
Okay.
So mukhang meron na nakasagot dito sa third word natin.
Okay, meron na po ba?
Yes.
Meron na.
Meron na po, okay. So
Next
hide
word.
and seek.
Next word. Okay, question pala to. What is the name of our speaker for today's webinar? So una-unahan na. And chat your answer on the chat box. Complete name, ah. So, mukhang meron nang nakasagot. Meron nang nakasagot sa... So, the answer is Architect Trinh Phuong Quan. Next question. The 12th architectural lecture series is entitled as... So chat your answers on the chat box. So mukhang wala pang nakakakuha ng sagot, ng tamang sagot sa second question. Wala pa din. So ayun, meron nang nakakuha. We have Tintin Aguilar. So next question. Please, okay, flash po. So
Okay, so for our Q&A, we have gathered some questions from the registration link on this Zoom meeting and from the Facebook. I don't know, wait. Let's check our questions.
So moving right along, it's my pleasure to introduce to you again architect Trinh Phuong Quan. Let us call on screen architect Quan for the question and answer.
Okay, question number 1, we have one for you, architect Juan.
Yeah.
What advice can you give to the students who are slowly losing interest in their chosen path?
Okay. Very interesting question, because I've been in that situation for my very first and second year. You know, most of us, when we choose the architecture to be an architect, right, and go to the architecture school, most of us, 90%, I tell you, because we think we are good at drawing, so that we choose architects to be architects. That's a problem, very common problem, because when I study architecture, after and first and second year, everything changed. Now, architecture is not about painting, drawing, beautiful building. We need to study a lot of other knowledge from other profession and field. So in my very first year, you see my design and my drawing skill not as good. So I was very disappointed about myself, and sometimes I think, wow, maybe I choose the wrong career already. But I just give you an advice. You just figure out what is your strong point. What is your friend weak point? Let's say, yeah. In my case, because most of my friends are very good at drawing. You know, if I study drawing to be as good as them, right? It's very difficult for me. So I try another way. That I study English. Yeah, because most of them are quite, they're not good at English, and they're lazy to study languages. So I spend time to study English instead of study painting. Yeah. Instead of doing student work, right? I participate in competition to improve my portfolio. So gradually, I found my interest. I know what I should do, and this changed a lot. I have to say, yeah. Came from a very bad student in the very first, second year. Now, I mean, I'm self-confident compared to my peer, the people from my batch. Yeah. So don't be so disappointed. You figure out your strong point, your friend weak point. Yeah, and you try to improve it. Yeah, that's all. That's my advice.
Okay, thank you, architect. So that was very insightful. For our second question, we have, how will we not fear the struggles of facing the real architectural world after our college years?
Sorry, can you repeat again? I cannot hear you clearly.
Okay. How will we not fear the struggles of facing the real architectural world after our college years?
You mean after our year?
After graduating, how do we architectural world once we get in it?
After graduation, I think because we both of us are graduating from, we are in the same situation. We are in the developing country, so it is quite tough, you know, to find a job in the architectural world, to work and practice in the developed country. So the first thing I think is to improve our qualification by study a postgraduate course. You know, if you study from graduated from a developed country, so your degree well recognized, so it's open the career path for you very quick. And as I mentioned to you, you equip yourself with the beam, the skill set. Yeah, the beam is very important because any country, they need that, the people to do that work. So I think it's the easiest way for us. Yeah, improve the qualification by postgraduate study and the beam and the skill set.
Hey, Quan, I wanna butt in for a while.
Yeah.
So what's common with us is that we're both Asians, right? So
Mm.
how does it feel to become an Asian architect? What I mean is an architect who is Asian in the international landscape. How do you see that? How do you interact with these European architects, or do you? Yeah.
Yeah, I got experience because you know, I've been in 1 year in Belgium, and I've been I met some of my friends who graduated from top school in USA. Yeah, so I think for Asian architect, especially um, the East Asia, let's say East Asia first.
Yeah.
Most of our finalists, you know, in our competition, most of the finalists are Asian students, you know. Yeah, it's an international competition. They graduated from Harvard, they graduated from Nottingham University, but all of them are Asian. So I do feel interesting thing because, well, I expecting to see like Caucasian, right? But all the finalists are Asian. Yeah, so it's very, very interesting. So sometimes I feel, well, I'm quite proud about that because with the same level of development, our background, we still struggling to produce a good design. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not so worried about that. I think we have a lot of advantages. And like the Vietnam, Philippines, you know, now the European architect, the European American architect, they have to go to developing country like Vietnam or the Philippines because they have the project there. Right? We are developing country. We have the project. Yeah. So in my case, right, they need the people to mind the communication gap. You who have the experience, who have the profession and can mind the communication gap. So I think now is my advantage. You know, a lot of building, a lot of infrastructure is constructing in Vietnam now, and I can mind the gap between the top tier architect if they want to do project in Vietnam, they have to go some people like me. So I think it's very my advantage. Yeah. Rather than okay, you graduate from somewhere in Europe, now you don't have any project, you have to go to Asia to find a job. So yeah, let's think positively. I think we have advantage now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. So let's proceed to the third question from Marvin Seron. How do you balance function with aesthetic appeal? Sir.
Okay. I'm sorry. The current balance function with aesthetic appeal. Okay. How to say? Because the aesthetic it cannot be. There's some basic rules to define which is beautiful and which is ugly. I mean, the proportion is very important. So let's start with the proportion. If you started with not a good proportion, so definitely your project will not look beautiful. So let me tell you about my trick. I think I share with you some of the maybe the trick. I start like this. Okay, so how to have a beautiful proportion? Okay, can I share you my screen? Okay, I show you my screen. Huh? This is a very common thing that I've been through. So Share the screen. Okay, share the screen again. Okay, share. So let's get started with the proportion. Like you start with the plan, the architectural plan. So how can, because if you do the sketching, right, you don't have the very good portion in the plan. Now let's get started with the plan first. So normally I often look at the photo like this. I am looking for the photo like this, you know, like these kind of photos, the very graphical one, with this kind of a layout and scale proportion. In this design, the proportion reached to the limit already, you see, especially the famous painting like this, you know, you started from this one. So you can pick one of these photos, you import into the AutoCAD, you trace the footprint, the main edges, like I interested in this photo. Okay, so if I trace these line, if I trace these line, right? If I trace this line, sorry, if I trace this line, yeah, yeah, and somehow it's become a very interesting building. You know, you can start with this line first, yeah. So when your plan reach a very good proportion ready, you just push it up, yeah, and do the facade. So it's become a very nice thing. Like for example, this one, yeah, this one, yeah. If you design yourself a plan, you know, by sketching, maybe you will not reach a very good proportion. So let's get started with this. You import to AutoCAD, you trace the pattern, yeah, or even this kind of pattern. This kind can be a very good facade, you know. You trace and you learn, you adapt it from them, like this one, yeah. So make sure that not only I will start it from these images first, like this one, very interesting one, yeah. Can be used for elevation, yeah. So try to catch these proportion, yeah, this scale, yeah. So by this way, you always have a very good proportion in your design. So I started with the tracing of these proportion of these line first. Then gradually my project will become have a very nice proportion, and a nice proportion became aesthetic. Yeah, that's my experience. Yeah.
Do you have other more questions?
Yes, sir. I think we have from Kel Cruz. If you were to reuse an architectural project, is it possible to reuse a project on an individual design competition if the project that you are going to use in the competition was done by you and your team? If yes, who should receive the credit?
Okay. Okay. So normally from my experience, there's some competition that require a totally new design. So in this kind of competition, it shouldn't be published anywhere at any places. You can reuse your individual project, but make sure that it hasn't been published to submit for this competition. Some of the competition, like the Archiprick, they persuade you to reuse your design studio for the submission. Yeah, kind of like that. It should be a student design project, so you can reuse. For the team, I think depend on the rules and competition, but make sure that we need to clarify and to indicate the team member and the roles of you in the design competition, and make sure that you talk with your friend, your teammate, whether they accepted you to use or not. Yeah. So most of my design projects are my individual one. Just some of them, one or two, like the Archiprick one, right? I use my individual design project and ask my friend to help me. So we revise, we use it a bit to develop a better design for submission. So that submission became our team submission. inherit from my individual studio design.
Hey, Guan, what can you advise students with limited resources? Like, for example, they're from low-income families while they're studying architecture in pursuing their architectural education postgraduate education.
Okay.
Of course, usually when right after undergraduate graduation, right after that, they're pressured to work already. So how they manage studying while working?
I understand. Well, I think for students who are in low income family, if you are under the pressure of making money, so let's get started with working, because some of the postgraduate program they require 2 or 3 years experience. Yeah, and in that time, I think we can save the money. For the why I choose NUS, because they offer quite generous loan and even assistance, the tuition fee loan and even the financial aid for the international student. So in my case, for very first year, 1 year study, it took me around $15,000, which I quickly paid off 6 months after graduation. So think about it. Maybe it's cannot be a good investment. Yeah. Think it as an investment. You invest the money and then you earn back. Yeah. So if you cannot take the loan, or you cannot take you don't have enough, I think should do to work for a couple of years, because you earn experience, especially useful for your postgraduate course. Study about BIM. I think BIM architect is now very valuable. I'm not sure about the salary in the Philippines, but in Vietnam, if you are good at BIM, you can earn like 1K or $1,500 US dollar per month. So if you save for 2 or 3 years, I think you can afford for the 1 year postgraduate degree. Yeah, be possible. Yeah,
that's right. Thank you for that answer. So it really seems that what we see now is that BIM is the way now, right? So everybody needs to learn BIM. It's really helpful, and it will really make you competitive.
Correct.
The market.
Yeah, BIM is something like the IT. You need the skill. You need the skill rather than the experience. So for the young fresh graduate, we cannot earn enough experience. It requires time practicing. But the BIM, we can quickly mind the gap, and especially the veteran, the experienced architect, all generation, they don't know about BIM. I'm sure with you. So it's our advantage. Yeah. So
it's an advantage.
Yeah.
Even if you have, do you still get commissions for residential projects, private projects? Like, for example, do you still get projects from Vietnam in your hometown?
Yeah. Prior to the COVID, I was helping my firm because they have a master planning in Vietnam, a project in Vietnam. And in this kind, make sure, because the master urban design, I forgot to tell you, architect, we need a license, accredited degree and license to work in the specific country. Like if I went Singapore, my annual degree is not eligible for the board of license. Yeah, not applicable. So, but the urban designer, they don't need any license. Yeah, right.
Really?
Yeah, don't need license. Yeah, you can be an urban planner, urban designer. Yeah. Even you graduated from the architecture background or the background, you can be urban planner. Yeah, but architect. Yeah, you study architect, you cannot be architect. You need to pass the BOA exam. I'm now just an architecture associate. Yeah, and the urban planning, because you work for the local government and government body so they need a local speaker. Local speaker at least. So in that time, because it's very difficult to find a Vietnamese who know who has expertise in architecture, planning, and know Vietnamese. So they asked me to help them in the urban planning project. Yeah. You see, so if I apply to work as an architect in Singapore, very tough. They ask me, well, where is your 5 year of local experience? I don't have. Yeah. But if I apply for a job, urban planning for project in Vietnam, they need to hire me. Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah. In Philippines, I don't know, but I think also the same.
Yeah,
But the problem is because you speak English already, right? So yeah. I mean, you just speak English already. So yeah. But in my case, like if you are in Cambodia or Laos, you work in Singapore, right? Laotian or Cambodian, you work in Singapore, and they do a project in Cambodia. Definitely, they are struggling looking. Yeah, if you know the language, they hire you immediately. Yeah.
Other question? When will your book be available?
It's available already. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you look at the link I show you. You can look at the Takashimaya. You search the eco-puncture, so it's available.
Okay.
Yeah, and you contact the Philippines, the BCI Philippines. Yeah, it has been commenced for 1.5 years already. Yeah.
There, I saw it.
Yep.
Are you still in touch with Pratito?
Pratito, yeah. Well, sometimes we chit chat a bit. He worked for the WADG, the Urban Planning Design Studio and Aircom in Singapore for 3 or 4 years. And I just met him by chance in Singapore in exhibition, Zaha Hadid exhibition. Yeah, and we would just meet by chance, yeah. But the architects. The architects social society is very small, so we meet each other by chance. In that time, he told me, "Wow, he will apply for a top tier school in USA." Oh, I said, "Wow, you definitely got it." Then he got admitted to MIT, and now he's pursuing the master in urban planning. Yeah. So you see, via competition, he won the second prize in architecture. In that time, you remember. Yeah, then he got admitted. Yeah. So yeah, it can change our life. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we can encourage those students to join the competitions.
I think this time you should invite Pratito. I think he will share with you the experience in USA. So your student have a broader view. Yeah. And MIT is the top of the top already. So yeah. So
I thought you went to Yale. Or you just visited Yale?
Sorry?
I thought you went to Yale.
No. In that time, I mean, I want to work. I want to work in Singapore. So I choose US. Yeah.
What's really nice with design competitions is that you get sponsors, free hotel, free transportation, free tours.
Correct. You have everything. You remember that time we booked 5-4-star hotel. Yeah. All the food and meal provided, right? Yeah. Yeah, quite enjoy. Yeah. So yeah. For architecture students, we are very enjoy about that. Yeah. So
a lot of opportunities opened because of that.
Because of the COVID. Yeah, because COVID everything changed. But I hope this will resume soon. Yeah.
It's fun because that event is really that Archibricks really help us a lot and help us with our careers. It opened paths, opened opportunities, right? It widened the landscape.
It's widened. Yeah. So it's helped us a lot, and we have a lot of good networking, which is very important. That networking is important than the price and money. Yeah,
and one of the good things was back in the workshops, right after the competition, we had workshops with the juries, right?
Yep.
I was on a different workshop. I was with Wee Min that time. You were with Tai Keng Soon, right?
Yeah, Take answer.
Yeah, with my teammate Aris.
Yeah, and even the student can got the recommendation letter from them. Yeah,
Oh yeah, they got
very
recommendation
good.
letters from those juries, right?
Yeah, correct. You should. Yeah. So that's a very good chance. Maybe you can got a very good recommendation from Star Detective. Yeah, somehow it's open your pathway to any office. Right? Yeah.
I even got I also got an invitation from Wei Min because he
Really?
was my workshop leader that time.
Wow, you got an offer from him to work in his office.
It was Malaysian, right? It was
Yeah, he's Malaysian. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So competition changed a lot, especially for architecture students. Yeah, because
Then when we went back in the Philippines, we
Mm.
also did the same workshop with our co-students. So we shared with them the experience in Singapore.
yeah, correct.
It's like a workshop echo. So we echoed everything we learned from that activity, from that competition. So that even if our classmates were left in the Philippines, they were able to also get the learnings.
Yeah, because in other profession, if you are you study biology, right? So you got a journal published. In architecture, we cannot publish any paper, right? Yeah. It's very difficult to publish paper. Yeah, my friend, they do the research, even IT, they publish the paper. Yeah, so the paper can help them for admission to the top tier and open the career path. But architects, you design building, not research building. So we do not publish paper. So competition help to improve our profile a lot.
Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah, but were you able to produce your own journal already?
My journal, no.
Article? Yeah,
Sorry?
paper? Were you able to produce your research journal?
I mean, I'm not kind of researcher. One of my
Publish?
friends, she did the research in architecture, but I mean, I prefer doing the design work. Yeah, design work rather than research, because doing the research, you do something project like rejuvenating of the old quarter, study the heritage, the
Maybe because
restoration.
in architecture we think too technical.
Yeah,
We think too deep.
yeah, we prefer to do design something interesting, with good rendering, impress all the people. Yeah. So
But I saw in your presentations a while ago that you also base your designs with those quantities or data.
yeah,
Data results. We base our design solutions with the results, right? With the data results.
yeah, correct.
I saw the percentage, what's supposed to be achieved, how many percent, like that. Yeah, so data gathering is still in there, and research is still in there. Yeah.
Correct. I think it's rather than we cover our model with tree, and then we say this is sustainable. No, if it's sustainable, how much you achieve. Yeah, that's a very important. So apart from the quality, we need to do the quantity. Yeah, quantitative assessment. So it's persuade the jury immediately. People, they look at the number, the percentage, and say, well, you got you have the problem, then you try to solve it, then you got the result. So it impressed them a lot.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Architect, for an interesting and informative talk. And I think that ends our open forum. We hope that all your questions was now clear. And just a reminder, we will post the list of winners on our icebreaker at the website PSU Facebook page.
Do we have our team with us right now?
For the awarding of certificate, we would like to call on Architect Jeremiah Marco Bildan para sa pag-reward po kay Sir Juan.
Okay. And you flash the certificate already. Okay, the certificate of appreciation is presented to Architect Trinh Phuong Quan for his invaluable role and contribution as guest speaker during the digital conference entitled Sustainability Through Experience, given this 24th day of April 2021, signed by our chapter president, Crystal Kibuyen, by our vice presidents for programs and development and for operations, signed by me, TSU advisor, Architect Jeremiah Bildan, and our chairman of Architecture and Fine Arts, Architect Arlen F. Webb.
Thank you. Thank you so much for hosting this event. And I hope that my talk will motivate you. And yeah, we also in the same career path. Yeah, and can be successful architect in the future. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Do we have a next slide, please? Okay, for our closing remarks, ako rin pala to. Okay. So, as closing, we really would like to thank Juan, Architect Juan, for sharing his experience, for sharing his time, preparing 120 slides, preparing his presentation for us. So we really appreciate it, and if ever you come to the Philippines, come visit Philippines, we'll be glad to host you.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
Yeah. So just hit me up, private message me. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope this will not be the last time, but we will also have another lecture series, maybe, or a forum, maybe, together with our co-architects colleagues.
Yeah, that will be great. I think the next 10 or 20 years, we will not talking about the competition anymore. We share about our design, a real life project, a huge project.
Okay.
I hope that. Yeah, I hope that. Yeah. So, thank you so much for hosting this
Keep in
event.
touch. Thank you.
Yeah, God
Thank you
bless.
so much.
Yeah, see you.
God
Bye.
bless.
Yeah.
Hope to see you when I visit Singapore.
Yeah, see you. Just PM me, okay? Yeah, see you. Bye. Anyone, everyone.
Thank
See
you.
Argy, before you leave, can we take a picture together with you?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so let's take a selfie first.
Okay, yeah, let's just take a photo.
Please, can you open your camera, please? For the photo op. Thank
We
you.
ask everyone to open up your camera, please.
So I hope those in the live also enjoyed and learned a lot.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. So pa.
One more.
Yeah, one more.
1, 2, 3. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Juan.
Yeah, thank you, Zeto. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, see you.
Thank you po.
Yeah, I post in the group a link to download any document later for you. Huh? See you.
Yeah, okay. We'll be waiting for that link. Thank you.
Sure. I told you 5 minutes.
Thank you for sharing the presentation. I also had a copy.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. See you.
Thank you. Wala ba tayong music? Ending music?
Hindi ako nakapag-include, sir.
Kanta na lang daw tayo. Long time no see, ah.
Sir, what time po yun?
Sabi ka, Kibuyen.
Choppy. Long time no see?
Nagsilakihan na, sir.
Ha?
Nagsilobohan na po.
Sana all tumobo.
So fat, so good.
Sana all tumaba.
Iba kasi pag broken.